My Momentum seminar attendees for 2021, the very first one. You guys are awesome. Welcome to the Gather environment. This is where we're going to be in the last hour of each day on both the 12th and the 13th, following all of our awesome talks and interactions from our speakers. So I'm super excited to show you this. I'm going to try and keep this pretty short and concise, but I want to introduce you to this environment so you know exactly what to expect when you get in there. So like I say, this is Gather. This is the environment that our staff at My Momentum has built out just for you. It's going to be a highly interactable environment where you're going to be able to actually walk around, interact with various different attendees, and speak one-on-one and in groups with the coaches that you've just listened to as well. So here we go. At the end of the seminar, I will send you guys a link. All you need to do is click on that link, and that's going to take you into the browser and launch this Gather app. Now, the guys at Gather have told me that it's best to use Google Chrome or maybe even Mozilla Firefox. They suggest it doesn't work particularly well with Internet Explorer or Safari. So Google Chrome has the big thumbs up. So I would definitely try to download that ahead of time, ready for Gather. They also mentioned that it works best on a laptop and or PC. And they suggested definitely not doing it on a mobile phone because you won't have the functionality you need. Some tablets work okay, but really try and go for a computer or laptop where possible as well. So as soon as you click on that link, you're going to be able to choose your character, name your character, choose what clothes it's wearing, and then it's going to drop you in this environment ready to go. You'll go through a couple of pieces of training before you get into it, but it's literally 10, 15 seconds of showing you what the controls are before it drops you right into our personalized space right here. So let's go exploring. Like I say, this is the Gather environment that we've made for you, and we've been dropped in the central area. As soon as everyone starts to sign in, you'll see everyone else's characters appearing in this central space, and everyone will start moving around. Now, the cool thing about Gather, it's almost like a 6 or an 8-bit video game. So if you've ever played Super Mario or maybe Pokemon or something, it looks pretty similar and pretty familiar. You can just move around using your arrow keys. So I'm going to use my left key to move to the left. Here we go. I'm going to use my right key to move to the right-hand side and obviously up and down as I move around the environment. I can also use the W, A, S, and D keys, W for up, S for down, A for left, D for right to move around as well. Okay, so pretty simple to move around. And Gather is a proximity-based video conferencing tool. So as soon as you come in close proximity to somebody, their video will appear, their audio will appear just as if you're meeting them in a hallway, and you'll start to talk with them. And so we'll see this in a second. Obviously, this is just a demonstration, so we don't have our 65 attendees, our 3 speakers, groups from our partners in performance. There's obviously going to be a lot more going on the day itself, but right now we just have 2 people in this environment, so we'll have an interaction in a second, but let's go explore some more first. So I'm going to head down here to begin with. And you see there's arrows on the floor kind of directing you to where hallways and doorways are. So I'm going to come down here first, and this happens to be one of our partners in performance, one of our very generous sponsors for this event in Momentous Nutrition, Live Momentous. And so we'll have some representatives in here from Momentous, and they'll be able to talk to you about who they are, what they do, and how they're helping the next generation of sports performance professionals and athletes into the future. So in the spaces, you might meet various different people. You can see there's a couple of different areas over here. So there's an area down here with a TV. And as I get close to this TV, it flashes gold, and there's this yellow rim around it. And this means it's an interactable object. So you can see in the bottom left-hand corner down here, this YouTube video suddenly popped up very small. But if I hit X, because it says press X to interact, I can hit X, and on the screen appears the YouTube video. And if I were to press play here, it would play the YouTube video. So you guys, we're going to have at least an hour in this space. So you can really take your time. You can watch these videos. We've got tons of interactable objects all over this landscape. So you can really find out about who our partners in performance are, who our speakers are, etc. So let's say I finished watching this video. Very cool. I press X and get out of that, and I can continue walking. So let's walk over here and explore some more. You'll see alongside the edges of the map, and I'll show you the whole map in a second here. Alongside the edge of the map, you'll see some rooms that will have various different countries' flags in it. And what we've done here is we've asked you guys to fill out a little form ahead of the seminar and provide a little bit of personal information about yourself so your fellow attendees can get to know exactly who you are. Now, you've been interacting with a bunch of fellow colleagues in the previous 3 hours or so. And so you will have got to know some people, but maybe not everyone. So let's say I want to come in here and I want to see who are all the US attendees at My Momentum seminar. So if I come into this room, again, we have another interactable object that shines gold. So if I get close to it and press X, up on the screen is going to pop a list of all the different attendees from the US with their name, where they're from, and which university or college they attended. And so let's say, for example, I see Joel Catch, the third one down there, who happens to be in the space at the moment. But if I see Joel Catch on there from Tucson, Arizona, he attended Arizona State University. I might be really interested in speaking with him because I actually want to go and do an internship at Arizona State University. And so that's going to be a point of connection, and I'm going to go and find Joel and speak with him. So I'll show you how you can find him very easily in a second here. So I'll hit X to get out of that and exit the room. If I start trying to find Joel, I might just start wandering around, but it might be quite difficult to do so. One way I can kind of look at the map to see, where I could possibly find him is to go to one of these podiums. And you'll see these podiums are placed in various different places. Some of them have maps in them, others have different interactable objects inside of them. But this one is a map. And so there's a map in the north segment, the east, the south, and the west. And since I'm in the west, I'm going to click X here on this one. And you'll see on the screen, here is the full scale map of where we are. So you are here. So I'm on the west side of this map, and you can see the whole layout of our entire map right here with our various different speaker rooms, our various different partners in performance rooms, and an interesting area up here, which will be become a bit more relevant on the day itself. Okay, so you are here. I'm down in this segment. Let's try and find Joel. I'm going to hit X. So now on the left-hand side, I want you to turn your attention to this banner on the left. In here, in the My Momentum Seminar 21, all of the 65 attendees who join, all of the speakers, all of our partners and performance representatives will appear right here. And so you can even search for a name if you wanted to. I could start typing in Joel, and Joel Catch would come to the top. Or if I'm able to find him in this list at the top, I can just click. So I'm going to click on Joel here, and up pops a small menu. It says locate on map, follow, and spotlight. The spotlight may not be available for you since I'm the administrator here, but certainly I think locate on map and follow will be there. So if I hit locate on map, it's going to draw this line exactly to where Joel is, so I can begin to find where Joel is. Alternatively, what you can do, if you didn't want to manually walk there, you could click on this. I'm going to say stop locating. Click on Joel again and say follow, and it'll walk your character automatically. So I'm completely hands off at the moment. It's going to go all the way to Joel. I'm going to stop following right here just so we don't get too close. And you'll see I've now entered Stephanie Mock's room. We've found where Joel is, and we're going to go interact with him in a second here. But just before that, you'll see this is Stephanie Mock's room. This is where Coach Stephanie Mock will be. She will be in this space for the entirety of the time we're in Gather. So it should be very easy for you guys, if you want to go and speak more with Coach Stephanie Mock, to go and find her. You can see in this space, we've got a number of different places. Within this space, we have a sitting area over here, a library, a much larger sitting area at top, and over on the far right-hand side, up top here, we have a kind of fireplace area as well. So you can go and explore all those different places. There'll be other interactable objects within those spaces as well. And sure enough, there'll be other attendees that you can interact with there too. So let's actually get to the good stuff with Gather, which is interacting with people in this proximity-based video conferencing tool. So if I'm to approach Joel over here, which as you'll see in a second is not in fact Joel, it's just me over here from another side view. And so this is what will happen. But obviously in reality, this is going to be another person. They'll be looking at you, you'll be looking at them. As soon as you come in close proximity to them, their video is going to start popping up, their audio start becoming more clear, and you'll be able to start having a conversation with this person. Now you can see in the bottom right-hand corner here, you can see I have 3 green bars on my picture, and it says your connection is good. And you'll be able to see your connection and others' connections, just in case there happens to be choppy video. You'll be able to understand whether it's you or potentially whether it's an issue on the other end. What I would say though, and I'll try to reiterate this at the end, is if you come into any problems, we are here to troubleshoot for you. So please just use the chat function over here on the left-hand side and select the person to chat to, and then you can always speak to us and say that you're having an issue. Or alternatively, we will be looking at the direct messages on the My Momentum Instagram page as well. So feel free just to DM us there and we'll troubleshoot with you. However, what the guys at Gather have said is a quick refresh, either a Command R if you're on a MacBook or an F5, function 5 stroke on a Windows PC, that'll typically refresh the browser, and 99% of the time that fixes the issue you might be having. So always try that first. So here we're interacting with just one person at this time. If I wanted to make this person full screen here, I could always click on this icon here, and now we are video conferencing. Weird to see myself from two different angles, but now we are video conferencing, and you can have a number of different people. We can have upwards of 20 people in one specific video conferencing area, just like you would have on Zoom. All right. So this is going to be a really, really unique way to do this. So let me collapse this again, and I'm going to show you another couple of features. If I was to start moving away from Joel, you'll see, or myself, you'll see that I start to fade away into the background. And if I was talking to myself, then the audio would fade away as well. Interestingly, though, if I come back closer, and I'm just going to step forward onto this purple rug in front of me, I'm going to step forward next to Joel. Theoretically, I'm still right next to him, so my video should be clear, crisp, and present. If I step forward, it now disappears. Joel fades into the background, the rest of the map fades into the background, and you'll see that it did just say at the bottom of the screen, you have entered a private area. Now, most of the areas that are carpeted within the different speaker rooms, within the different partners and performance rooms, are known as private areas. And so you have to be standing within that carpeted space in order to interact with the people in there. And so this just makes it a little bit more user-friendly, in the sense that if somebody's walking by and just transitioning through the room, their video will not appear and then disappear. Their audio won't interrupt the conversation you're having and then disappear again. And so really what I'd suggest, unless you are walking around and you're having conversations in the hallways, which is awesome, we definitely encourage that. But if you want to be in a room and having a dedicated conversation with a group of people or a specific coach, I recommend you try and find one of these carpeted areas to stand on, which will be a private area as well. So I'll be on this private area right here, and you see that now Joel is no longer in my field of view and no longer talking to me. But if I move Joel onto the rug now here as well, then Joel now enters, i.e. me, enters this conversation as well. So we can have many, many people in this space, in this, what we call a private room. Okay, so that's pretty cool. What else can we do with our conversations? Let's move out into the hallway again here. So I'll bring Joel with me. Let's say Joel and I meet here and we're having a conversation about Arizona State University. And we just want to make sure we're having this private conversation while we're in the hallway, so we're not interrupted with various people just walking by and transitioning. Now, obviously, if we're trying to network, we want to be able to meet as many people as we can. So you may just want to maintain exactly what we're doing here. But if you want a dedicated conversation, you could two finger click or right click on the person you're speaking with, and you'll see it comes up with this option to say start bubble. Now, if I start a bubble, this is basically drawing a private area around us two. And so we can have this private conversation in this space, and while people walk past, they won't be able to hear us, we won't be able to hear them, and they won't be able to see us or them see us see them. Okay, so pretty easy to do that. And I can just hit leave bubble at the bottom here, finish our conversation, and continue on our way. Okay. Last thing, just in case this happens, I don't expect it would, but if for some reason you get stuck and you're kind of pinned into a corner, you're up against an object that you can't walk through for whatever reason, or you're up in the corner of a room and there's a couple of people talking around you, you can use the key G. So if you just press G on your keypad and hold it, that's going to turn you into a ghost effectively, and you can walk through the person who's in front of you just to get out. Okay, so just a simple way, just in case you find that you're stuck and you need to move, press and hold G and just use your directional arrow keys to be able to move out and away. Okay, so I believe that's pretty much it. Trying to keep things really, really short for you, but I think this is going to be such a great tool for you guys to use. I'm really looking forward to how it goes. We've had a number of different speakers and sponsors in this space already checking things out, and they're super excited to interact with you as well. So until July 12th and July 13th, I'm out, and we'll see you guys then.